Hi everyone, it's Robert from Outlier. Today I thought I'd go over the number one rank symbol on our discount list, which is TripAdvisor, TRIP. So I've got that pulled up right now, and boy, when you look at this stock over the last couple months, it's had an interesting history. So, looking at the 3 month outlier data points, you can see the oscillator started coming off in the middle of March, late March. Got fairly negative as the stock went down. Started to flatten out in April. The stock has continued to kind of fall off here from the end of April to the beginning of May. And right at this point, I think we're starting to see the oscillator give hints of some upside momentum. So, as you know, I like to look at where this oscillator is relative to our historical range. So I'll click on the max right now and take a look at that. And it's interesting that this is actually even below right now the lows of last year, which on most symbols is kind of an anomaly. But we've obviously had some downward pressure, and the oscillator has made it to below our previous low. So that's certainly a box you can check off, that the oscillator is at the bottom of its range for sure. And I like to see that when I'm thinking about entering something. So let's go back to this 3 month period and talk a little bit about what has been going on with TripAdvisor, because if you look at the daily prices over the last since probably November, it's been pretty interesting. It had, and I'm going to actually just bring up the 1 year look here, so maybe we can look at some of this. So yeah, at the beginning of November, it started having this up move, and around February, it had a massive, it was trading around 35 and started really moving up quickly and having a lot of volatility. So there were big down moves and up moves, which culminated with it getting up to around 65. So the stock nearly doubled in that time period, and got extremely volatile. Like if you look at the daily price charts of TripAdvisor, you can see the daily ranges just went kind of crazy during this period. And started reading some articles about its sell-off here in April, that were commenting on the fact that the overall market was up 5% and TripAdvisor was down 12%, and what might be going on. And obviously the market got ahead of itself with the pandemic, with this as being a pandemic relief stock, with it almost doubling. So not too big of a surprise to see it start coming off here in April as the overall market continued to go up. So I found that pretty interesting to look at how volatile we started getting, and that volatility is continuing today. If you look at the options, the June options on TripAdvisor, they are trading with an implied volatility right now of around 50%, which is absolutely warranted. The at the money straddle in there right now is around $6, which again makes a lot of sense given the kind of movement this stock has had. So a couple other things I was looking at that I think are worth talking about here, because whenever I look at something and I see something like this in the middle of April where the oscillator did turn, I like to kind of check myself, because had I been looking at this, then I'm asking myself, okay, well, if you were looking at this in April and you saw the oscillator down here, you saw it starting to go positive, what would you have done? Would you already be in this? And I can't say for sure, but looking back at the data, especially when I see something that's this volatile, I'm going to want one of two things to happen with kind of my smaller time frame observations that I'm looking at. I'm either going to want to see it establish an up move, or I'm going to want to see the price action consolidate to a point where I would be comfortable buying a dip. And when I looked at the data back surrounding this area, I didn't necessarily see that. So that makes me feel better about watching this kind of happen and hopefully come to a consolidation point here where we might be looking at an opportunity. They reported earnings on the 6th, on May 6th, and beat. The stock had a decent move up that day, but kind of came back to its 43 area, I believe, after those earnings. So, what I'm looking at right now, I like everything that I see here. There's a couple things to think about. One, the implied volatility, the options are suggesting that this really moves around a lot. So I absolutely want to see a consolidation in price action, which when I look at shorter term price movement, I don't see yet to make me feel okay with buying a dip, or I want to see it establish an up move, and it certainly is not established an up move. On that note, with where the options are trading, you could definitely look at I think the low 40s, those puts are trading around $2. I think the 44 put is trading $2.50. So if you're comfortable getting long the stock at 42, maybe you're looking at selling some puts. There are certainly some option plays out there that you could look at with respect to where that volatility is. But it's something to keep in mind when you are looking at getting in. And the other thing I wanted to mention too is when this did start going kind of bonkers on the upside, it was around $38 that once it got through, it really took off. So we've kind of gotten close to that area. I think, we got down to around the 42. So that's just something else to keep in mind, that it's had a healthy retracement to this area where it kind of took off from. The last thing to consider is obviously what's going on in the general market right now and how you're feeling about the footing of the general market as well. So that's kind of my quick analysis of TripAdvisor. Please let me know if I can look at anything else for you. And as always, you can email me at robert@outlier.com. Thank you.